If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? The Buddhist Shakyamuni very clearly indicated that the wisdom of emptiness is the liberating path, and all other paths, like the bodhicitta, compassion, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, and so forth, they're all ripening paths. But the wisdom of emptiness alone is the liberating path. For example, it's like somebody suffering from illness, like tuberculosis. You can take good food, nutritious food, you can take good rest, and you can also go to a very the clean environment and so forth. But these help you to heal you from your tuberculosis, but they are not the remedies to overcome the tuberculosis. So for that matter, we need the antibiotics for tuberculosis, such as isoniazid, rifampicin, idambudol, and so forth. And these are the actual medicines to quell, to eradicate, to eliminate this tuberculosis. Whereas all others are required, even if you have these antibiotics, but if you don't resort to taking healthy food, nutritious food, clean area, and the good rest and so forth, no matter how much you resort to the antibiotics, then it cannot help you. So antibiotics, and they should work together, but the antibiotics is the liberating medicine for you, which can actually liberate you from the tuberculosis, and others are required as an aid or the cooperative factors. So likewise, for us, finally, that the Buddha nature within, the seed of perfection is within us, seed of the fearlessness, seed of infinite happiness, these two are within us. So our job is to remove the mental defilements, to segregate this pure seed from the mental defilements. And to do that, we need to resort to the remedies. And the remedies, there are two. One is known as the liberating path, and the other is the ripening path. And of all these 84,000 of the paths, teachings given by Buddha, the only liberating path is the wisdom of emptiness. All others fall under the category of the ripening paths. This is one thing that we need to keep in mind. And also that in Samdhi Nirmochana Sutra, the Buddha indicated that all the teachings the Buddha taught, somehow they are grouped into three categories. One which points to your liberation or the ultimate reality. One which points to the ultimate reality. Number two, which leads you to the ultimate reality. Number three, which establishes you in the ultimate reality. Three. One which points to the ultimate reality, meaning that they say you are so eager to take a trek, to go for a trekking to Mount Everest, and from 5 kilometers away, you ask, where is Mount Everest? And somebody living there 5 kilometers away from Mount Everest, the person has been seeing Mount Everest for the last 30 years, 40 years. And the person will tell you that, look, that is Mount Everest. So the person points. The person never went there himself or herself, but the person can actually show you that this is Mount Everest. This is one. And then there's another person who actually goes there once in a while, goes there to the base of the Mount Everest. And the person says, okay, don't worry, I'll take you there. So that person takes you there. The person will not make you go at the summit of the Mount Everest. And where is the third? For example, like the mountaineer, Mr. Tenzin Norgay, Tenzin Sherpa or Tenzin Norgay, who of course he passed away, and who was the record holder, the first person to officially to see that he climbed the summit of the Mount Everest. So he can actually take you there. He can actually make you established, to be established there at the Mount Everest. So there are three ways. Likewise, say the Buddha's teachings can be grouped into three. One which points to the ultimate reality. For example, the teaching on impermanence, teaching on suffering. These will all point to the ultimate reality. So if you don't want this misery, then you have to go there, ultimate reality. Then the next one is the emptiness, teaching on emptiness or autonomous substantial reality. These will actually take you there. Teaching on the emptiness of externality, teaching on the emptiness of true existence while not rejecting intrinsic reality. They will all take you closer towards the summit, but they will not help you to actually establish there in the summit. And finally, the teaching, the second turn of the wheel of Dharma, where the Buddha taught that nothing exists truly, nothing exists objectively real. So these teachings actually help you to be established there in the ultimate reality. Okay, so what is that thing which helps you to establish you in the ultimate reality? That is the wisdom of emptiness, teaching on the wisdom of emptiness. And this also resonates, or this also is the equivalent, or this also synonymous with the liberating path. All others are not liberating path, only the wisdom of emptiness is liberating path. And if you really want to be liberated, for example, say that dream example, say that you have very pleasant dream, you have the unpleasant dreams, the nightmare, and what should you do? Say there are many options. That say in the dream where you are being chased by a ghost, dream ghost, say one thing is, say in the dream you run away faster than the dream ghost. How the dream ghost run? This is one way of escaping from the dream ghost. And then so likewise the next would be like you recite mantras in the dream, and sometimes it works well. And what is the most sensible thing to do? Wake up. This is the most sensible thing to be done. So this helps you to actually be freed. This actually liberates you from the nightmare of the dream. Okay. So likewise, the wisdom of emptiness is the liberating path. It's for this reason that the Buddha himself very clearly indicated that in the sutra, that where there is grasping at objective existence, there is no liberation. Where there is grasping at objective existence, there is no liberation. And then Bodhisattva Shantideva, in his Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, chapter 9, opened this chapter by saying that the wisdom, all these teachings of the Buddha are given to invoke this wisdom, given that this wisdom alone is the liberating path. And Acharya Dharmakirti, in his text Pramanavartika, said the wisdom of emptiness liberates you from samsara, and all the other paths are to encourage or to persuade you into this wisdom of emptiness. So these all boil down to encouraging us, inspiring us that finally is to wake up from the sleep of ignorance, to discover that the dream is empty of being real. So this is finally what we should be doing. And how many of you are at the moment not meditating on emptiness? Raise hands. Okay, which means that if you are listening to me, you are not meditating on emptiness. You are not meditating on emptiness. Okay. So when you are not meditating on emptiness, you see the world is operating. The world is operating. Okay. Some of us make an impression that when you meditate emptiness, the world will stop operating. No, this is not true. Whether you meditate emptiness or not, the world continues to operate. You're getting it? This is so important. Even if you realize emptiness directly, still the world continues to operate. Now what happens is that the world will not stop operating. The world will not become empty. The world will not become nil. When you realize emptiness, what happens is that there is a shift in your perception taking place. The world will continue to operate. What changes is the world will not change. Your perception changes. When you see emptiness, your perception changes. Like what? Your perception, your belief that things exist objectively, or the whole world is operating objectively, that is shifted from objectivity to the subjectivity. The world is still operating, but subjectively. This is what your perception changes. That the world does operate, is still operating, but not objectively. It is operating subjectively. So anything anything related to the world which triggers fear in you, they'll all dissolve, coming to know that they're all coming from the subject, nothing from the object. But you are aware that the world still operates. You can still enjoy the world. You can still be kind to the world. But you will not be affected by the world, because you see that the world is all coming from your mind. The world is not non-existent. It does exist, but it exists subjectively. So when you know that things are coming from, things are subjectively real, your mind is not affected. The dream exists. The dream exists. While the dream exists, but if you know the dream is dream, the dream will not affect you. While the dream exists, if you believe the dream is real, it will affect you. So the dream, don't say that dream does not exist. Dream exists. Dream exists as a dream, not as a real. Things do exist. They exist as subjectively real. They exist as like a dream. They do exist, but they exist subjectively. So because they exist, you will still operate in the world. Because you know that they exist subjectively, you will not be affected by the dream. In fact, you will not be affected by the world. And your mind will be totally freed of all fears of life. This is the pacification. This is a pacification of your mind. So the Buddha said, commit no evils. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Subdue your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Let me repeat it. The Buddha said, commit no evils. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Subdue your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Okay. So this is a huge summary, and for ordinary people it's very simple. For the scholars it's very simple. For practitioners it's very profound. Okay, let's say, commit no evils. When do we engage in evil acts? Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, all these things happen. Viewing things as objectively real, the dream as real. Number one. So, if you engage in evil, you will suffer. You don't want suffering. You don't want suffering. The cause of suffering is the evil. Don't commit evil. And accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. How to accumulate great wealth of virtues? Be kind towards others. Be kind towards others. Virtues automatically happen. Okay, how to do that? It sounds so easy, but practically it's very difficult. In reality, it's very difficult. Okay, how many of you, for example, let's say that, oh, I'll do this prayer, I'll do this study, and particularly when you are during your school days, college days or school days, you are making your timetable, study timetable. The whole 1 day, 24 hours jam-packed with this study, this from this time to this subject, that subject, this subject, that subject, and in 2 days you collapse. Okay, raise hands. It happened to how many of you? Raise hands. Okay. So the point is that it sounds so easy. Make your timetable. It sounds so easy. When you making timetable is easy, but following that is difficult. Likewise, commit no evils. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. It sounds easy, but practically is very difficult. How to do it? The Buddha said, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. All these phenomena, they arise from their causes. Just tackle the causes. What are the cause of all these? Your mind. Subdue your mind. How to subdue the mind? Oh, this person is doing like this. Let's say you are in the dream and your neighbor knocks at the door very roughly and very aggressively. You feel so unhappy. You receive a call from your let's say your colleague or your boss, come right now, otherwise I'll fire you. So back to back you have all these unfortunate things happen, and you go to your mom, this is what is happening, that is what is happening. Do just one thing. You wake up, all these problems will stop. Wake up. Otherwise, in the dream, you have to go to the boss. Please never do like this. I'm going through a difficult time right now. And the boss will say, okay, I understand it. Sorry. Then you go to the neighbor. Please don't do like this. I have so much problem in my house. Then you have to solve problem one by one. But you wake up, you don't have to go to your neighbor. You don't have to go to the boss. All the problems will stop. All the problems of the dream will stop. Wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Nothing in the dreamlike world will affect you. All the problems solved. So subdue your mind means realize emptiness. Realize emptiness, all your evil acts will stop. All the evil acts, commit no evils. Evil acts, the ground is a belief in objective reality. When that is stopped, all the evil acts will stop. So, the seeing that things are all empty from the object, that solves all your evil acts. Then, if things are empty from the object, how do things exist? Things exist from the subject, dependent origination. So, how many of you use T-strainer? Raise hands. How many of you use T-strainer? Raise hand. Okay, Ajahn, tell me, what does it mean by T-strainer? What's the purpose? What's the function of T-strainer?
The function of T-strainer is to purify the tea, just separate the tea leaves and the tea.
Okay. How many agree with Ajahn saying that the tea strainer, the function of tea strainer is to let flow the drinkable tea and hold back the tea residue, tea leaf residues. Raise hands. Okay. Wisdom of emptiness serves as a tea strainer. Wisdom of emptiness serves as a tea strainer. It will let flow the virtuous mind, because wisdom of emptiness and dependent origination, these are the two sides of the same coin. Wisdom of emptiness and dependent origination, these are the two sides of the same coin. One side is emptiness and the other side is dependent origination. Because it's dependent origination, yes, be kind to others, but dependence on being kind to others, your happiness will grow. So, you're engaging in virtues. Engaging in virtues will simply proliferate, knowing that from the object there's nothing there. It's all subjectively real. It's all dependent origination. Your virtues will multiply and your happiness will grow. So this is the meaning of accumulate as great wealth of virtues, because you want the maximum happiness. The happiness is a result of the virtues. So for that, you have to accumulate great wealth of virtues by understanding the dependent origination, other side of the emptiness, where the drinkable tea it flows freely through the tea strainer. It will not hold back. What it holds back is the tea leaves which are not drinkable, the tea residue. These are being held back by this wisdom of emptiness. So all these negativities are stopped, and the positivities simply flow very naturally without any obstruction. So this, and all this happen by the understanding of this: subdue your mind. Your mind to wake up. Subdue your mind by waking up from the sleep of ignorance, by seeing the emptiness of objectivity and seeing the existence by dependency. seeing dependency and seeing the emptiness of objectivity and seeing the subjective existence of dependent origination, your negativities will stop, your miseries will stop, your virtues will proliferate, your happiness will proliferate, and this is your goal. And stopping the miseries altogether is nirvana. Technically it is known as nirvana. And proliferating your virtues infinitely, technically is known as Buddhahood. So your goal is total fearlessness and infinite happiness. This will be accomplished by the wisdom of emptiness. It's for this reason that the wisdom of emptiness is referred to as the only liberating path. If you want to liberate yourself, wisdom of emptiness alone is the liberating path.